Hey guys, this is Empty Sniper. Today I'm just going to do a quick kind of rundown on the Horde mode choke points and kind of where to set up your barriers and what type of barriers to set up just initially so that you can kind of contain the husks as much as possible in the first few waves, and then after you can kind of set up a bigger maze or a lot of traps to kind of really deal with them. But this is kind of what you should do just initially when you get to the base the first time, to kind of, again, funnel these husks so that they're more manageable. So I'm just going to do this kind of one at a time here.
Stand by for an important weather alert.
Okay, so again, I'm not going to really deal with actually defending the base. I'm just going to go to the areas where I know that we need to have a few barriers here. So I always use the lower barrier here, just because it's easy to shoot over and you can see kind of if anyone's destroying it. It's also important that you leave these little funneled holes open in your areas here. I'm also using stronger material for the points that I can, that will always see traffic of husks come through. So you can see this open area that walks through. Husks will come kind of straight towards you, and that'll allow you to use your abilities and just shoot in a straight line a lot easier than you could otherwise. Notice that I've also blocked off areas where they can kind of climb up over your
Wave incoming. 1 minute.
barriers. So again, you want to make sure you're leaving these little open spots here for them to come through, and you can put, floors with traps on them and wall dinos to kind of hurt them even more as you do it. But this is just a quick, as fast as you can, you want to be able to throw these down at the beginning, so that you're not having husks just come in from every direction attacking your base. Again, you want to block off these areas where they can kind of climb up around. And so for this first area, there's not really a lot of places where they can come through, so there's really only 3 choke points once you throw down these barriers. They come through. So you're standing here with your abilities, and you're protecting this with a melee weapon. And then same thing for this one, you'll see them come down the hill here, and then come straight at you here, and you just want to hit them as much as possible. And then for this one here, you have just this straight line where they come in. And for the first few waves, this works pretty well just by itself. Sometimes they might come down this hill up here, they're spawning. You can put another barrier right here, and that'll make them walk down and then come up. And so you still have this one area. It's important to also not have too many areas where they have to turn around. You're just kind of slightly redirecting them. You don't want to have a wall that blocks them completely from getting to the objective or to the atlas. And again, you can kind of add things. So one thing that's common to add is a little bit of a maze. So you have them redirected and they can go along this whole area with traps. And then a lot of times in this area I like to add, and this is stuff you want to do after you've already placed your initial and you're already settled in, as the zombies or the husks are attacking you. You can kind of set up more barriers this way. If they come up this hill, you want to kind of direct them just to come up during one way. So you kind of want to just make them group up together as much as possible without actually making them hit the walls. So in these cases, they won't actually hit the walls. They'll walk by the walls getting hit by the traps, and so your traps will last a lot longer. Usually they'll run out of durability and uses before you actually end up needing them. But this is just the first area, so I'll do the next area next. But again, you want to set up barriers that block people from coming over the hill, so that's why I put it on that little incline there. I keep it so it's a straight line. And again, you can kind of warp this as time goes on, as the rounds progress, so that you can do more damage and they can take a little bit of a more windy or maze-like route through traps. But if you're not going to put down traps, you kind of just want to have one spot where you can stand in front of it and say, hey, husks have to get past me to get through this. And the fact that there's only 3 choke points here, and there, in there, mean that you can have, you know, for a full squad of 4, you can have 3 people at the choke points, and then 1 person sniping, or 1 person in the storm itself, destroying or killing husks, however you want. So this actually works out pretty well. So I'll go ahead and start again the next video. Thanks.